Hello, everybody. Here I am, just getting ready to go out to a salsa party. And I thought I'd make this little video just to tell you why salsa parties and dancing in general is just so important to me. Now, anybody who's been following me on Facebook will probably see me posting about dancing all the time. And you could probably be forgiven for thinking that, hey, she's just a good time girl. All she ever cares about is going out and having fun. Part of me says, yeah, I do actually, care about having fun. Why wouldn't I? It's a good thing to do. But there's more to it than just going out, having a good time and having fun. For me, dancing and the joy that it brings me is a strategy that gives me energy, energy to go out and do the things that I love, energy to run my business, energy to, do a full day's work and all the other things you have to do in life. It also gives me the motivation and the energy to help others and to come up with a plan for helping others to overcome the tough times in life, because dancing is something that has really helped me overcome a lot of really shitty times. Somebody asked me recently, what are you really good at? What have you been most successful at in your life? And the first question that popped into my head was not the things, which are my skills, like public speaking, coaching others, working with others, helping others reach their potential. But actually, the thing I've been most successful at is overcoming shit. Heaps and heaps and heaps of shit. I've had, really pretty shitty times. And actually, dancing is just one of the strategies that I've used, but I've learned over my life to develop strategies to help me cope with some pretty awful times. Nothing too major. I haven't, obviously I haven't lost arms or legs or, anything like that, but I would say a good percentage of, the normal shit I've probably had more of my fair share of. And here's the thing, the strategies to overcome and deal with it are so important. And I wanted to share with you guys some of my strategies for smiling and being happy despite your external circumstances. Because another thing that people have always said about me is that they admire my resilience, my ability to smile, and people are always like almost accusing me of smiling. Oh God, here she goes, always smiling, my hugs are legendary and all that kind of thing. And people have described me as being a ray of sunshine, bubbly personality, that kind of thing. And some people have said to me, how is that possible considering some of the stuff that I've been going through? And so I thought I'd share my strategies. And one of the number one strategies for me in overcoming a whole load of crap is dancing. So dancing is really important to me. And if you have got any inkling to go and learn to dance, I highly recommend it. If you don't have an inkling to go and dance, what's important is that you do find something that you can be passionate about, something fun, something outside of your work, your career, your calling or whatever, something which is just time out for you, good old-fashioned bog standard fun. Okay, this is just so important. Um, just to put you in the picture where dancing came in for me, it's something I've always wanted to do all of my life, ever since I was probably about 12. And I first came across, good old 50s rock and roll. Not that I'm old enough I wasn't 12 in the 50s, I hasten to add. I was, sort of 12 in the 70s. Won't tell you where in the 70s, but I had a passion for all good old fashioned rock and roll music, and I wanted to learn to dance. Now, I never got the opportunity. The people that I was with, the guys that, boyfriends and all that, as I grew older, just weren't interested in dancing. And it's something that never left me. As I got older, I really, I craved going out and learning to dance, not just disco dancing and bopping about, one foot to the other, but proper partner dancing. The nearest I got to it was I went line dancing when that became popular. Uh, and then salsa started to kind of come on my radar. And this was back when I was married, but my ex-husband wasn't interested in going to learn salsa, so it never happened. And I went through a really kind of tough few years. My business was suffering. I was struggling financially. I had been awarded Coach of the Year award, and the company that awarded me that award, where I was going to be their top coach, they went bust, taking all my membership money with them. Other ventures just, by the wayside. Just just things like, the opposite of the Midas touch I seem to have, and everything seemed to go wrong. Then I lost my mum in 2006, and I was devastated. I was so close to my mum. In 2007, I lost my dad. 2008, I ended up in and out of hospital with gallstones, and that really dragged me down because it was going on for months. I was in pain for such a long time. Finally had the operation. That's 2008. 2009, my husband decided to run off with another woman, and that was the end of the marriage. So I was left, end of 2009, not knowing what on earth to do with myself. And one of the things that became clear, I was focusing a lot on my business and trying to make a living, trying to keep my head above water. And I identified I had no fun in my life at all. I had zip, zero, and all the rest of it. So that was when I discovered salsa, and it transformed my life. I think it's fair to say it saved me from going down into the, annals of depression. Um, it lifted me. It gave me a whole new social life, a whole new round of friends. Uh, the fallout from all of that divorce and everything was that I again suffered massively financially. I was left in a lot of debt, and over the years, I struggled with that. In 2011, I realized there's no way I was going to get myself out of the hole I was in. So I ended up going bankrupt and then picking myself back up. It was great. I had friends, I met a fabulous new guy. But life was hard, and dancing really gave me a reason to put a smile on my face and to keep going. And then a year ago, everything just seemed to get harder and harder and harder. And I realized that looking back now, I realize I was burnt out. The pressure of all of those years and everything that I've been through took its toll, and I kind of did go down into a bit of serious dip. I was thrown a lifeline. I got an opportunity to come up to Aberdeen, and I took it. It was a big decision because it meant separating myself, from my lovely chap and my friends, and sort of coming to a new city where I didn't know anybody. But the one thing I did was I Googled Aberdeen salsa, and fortunately, there's an amazing salsa scene up here in Aberdeen. And it it really helped me to start anew. I can't tell you how different I feel now, sort of 12, 14 months on, from when I kind of really was suffering from my burnout, because the training opportunity gave me a nice regular income so that I didn't have that pressure anymore. The but the great thing was also that I was able then to go out, join in with lessons, go to parties, and basically just turn my life around. I just can't tell you how different I feel. I've lost 3 stone in weight. That's around 19 kilos for those of my European friends. And so when you see my posts about dancing, it's not just simply a kind of hedonistic going out there having fun. There's so much more to it than that. And for me, it is special. Dancing has almost saved my life in many ways over the last kind of 6 years since I first discovered it, even though I kind of stopped dancing for a while because life took over and got in the way. And I'll never let that happen again. From now on, it's a priority, because the way that I feel when I'm dancing, the way that I feel when I'm, the confidence it's given me, the self-esteem, and all the rest of it, I cannot tell you enough that it's something that's so important. So it doesn't matter what you do, whether you're working in the corporate world, whether you're an entrepreneur, whatever your struggles are, you need to get out there and have some fun. You need to take time out and do something for yourself. Now, I've noticed that this was going to be a really short video, and it's like nearly 10 minutes already. So I'm going to stop wittering away now. I'm just going to leave you with this one message. Get out there and have some fun. If you get the urge, go dancing. If not, do something else. But please, please, please don't make it all about work and drudgery. Get out there and have some fun. And on that note, I'm off out to party. Bye.